Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're dialing in from. Welcome to Aforza's Winter 26 release webinar, where we're focusing on enhancing the planning, performance, and execution across every single channel. Now, my name's Callum Fitzpatrick. I'm Product Marketing Manager here at Aforza. And today I'm lucky enough to be joined by Nick Eales, our Chief Technology Officer and co-founder at Aforza. So as part of the Winter 26 release webinar agenda, we've got some exciting things coming up. So we're going to start with an introduction to Aforza, a recap to some of our newest customers who are joining us today, taking your feedback, some of the latest news of the year, and really touching on our continued innovation. And then we're going to jump into the specific Winter 26 release overview. So that's going into the themes of this year's release, touching again on Field 25, Aforza's new SDK, which is super exciting for all of you customers. And then into the really exciting bit, which Nick is going to take us through, and that is the demonstrations of all of the new functionality that's come as part of this release. Then we'll jump back to me, and we'll just go over how you can get started with the Winter 26 release today, and also introduce and give you the option to sign up for the Ava library, which is a kind of a library of pre-built, out-of-the-box use cases for your industry with Ava. Aforza Vertical AI, who, if you haven't met yet, which I think everyone has, then I'll introduce her formally in just a moment. And of course, at the end, we'll have some time for some Q&A. So as we go through the presentation, as Nick is doing the demonstrations, just open up the chat bot and fire in your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them at the end, depending on the timing. So as a brief recap on who we are and why we exist. So Aforza is an industry cloud company built specifically for your industry, so just for consumer goods. Now, we're built on the shoulders of some cloud computing giants. So we're built on the shoulders of Salesforce and Google Cloud, and we leverage the latest and greatest technologies from OpenAI to power Ava, Aforza Vertical AI. And we also have iOS and Android apps available completely offline for mobiles, for tablets, and we operate for every single type of user that you have, be that TPM, DMS, B2B, technical reps, field sales, even telesales teams. And as you can see on the left, we've got this nice platform on the bottom with those kind of technology partners there. Above that, we've got Ava in this hot pink there. So Ava stands for Aforza Vertical AI, which is AI that's tuned specifically for your industry, for our industry together. And you can see it actually raises everyone up. So no matter the persona, no matter the user, Ava can help drive actually profitable growth everywhere for everyone in your company. Now on the right, you can see that we connect your entire route to market. So if you're the manufacturer or a distributor, all the way down through to field teams and to the end retailer. And we're super excited to extend our DMS capabilities with Aforza Bridge. And this is essentially integrations and data transfers between manufacturers and wholesalers and distributors. So look out for a separate webinar, Aforza Bridge, but it's super exciting, and already some of our customers are using this. Now, I've spoken about Ava, but really excited to announce and firstly, welcome to all of our newest customers for your first Aforza release webinar. Welcome to Asahi and Lee Kum-Kee in North America, United States, and to Hawkstone in the UK here. And we're really proud to be partnered continuously with AG Bar, who are using Ava and driving 50% more productivity in every single visit. And thank you, Asahi, Lee Kum-Kee, and Hawkstone for also partnering with Aforza and utilizing Ava already. Now, we've had a really exciting year so far. So there's some big updates for this Winter 26 release. Obviously, we've continued our focus on enhancing Aforza's best-in-class TPM and TPO, and we've continued to invest where you are. So we're expanding our teams across the US, the UK, Dubai, and East Asia. I think actually that the sun never really sets on Aforza. So someone somewhere around the world is always using Aforza. And actually, there's a piece of functionality called an Aforza guide. Every 3 seconds, one is executed across the globe. So cool stat there. Now, we've also launched Ava at the beginning of the year. That's Aforza Vertical AI, and I'll give you a proper introduction to her in just a moment if you haven't met her or she isn't working in your company already. Alongside that, we've just released the Ava library, which is a full catalog of vertical AI use cases for your industry. So if you're struggling to start with AI use cases, then get your hands on one of the Ava library use cases, and we can really quickly turn that on for you and get you driving value with Ava and Aforza really quickly. We've also launched the new Aforza SDK, which is called Field 25, paving the way for some incredible future innovations, which we're already seeing being used by all of you. So thank you. And finally, this year, the latest Promotion Optimization Institute, POI, you can see in the middle of there, released their enterprise planning and retail execution analysis of lots of different vendors, and Aforza has got 13 best-in-class distinctions. We're proud to also be a recommended vendor in the Gartner market guides for both TPM and RGM. So all of our customers here today, thanks for partnering with us. All of this wouldn't be possible without you and your partnership. So thank you. Now, I've spoken about Ava. If you haven't formally met her, here's her CV. She spent her whole life working in the CPG industry. She's the world's #1 expert in planning and execution, and she makes perfect decisions on price, promotion, assortment, trade term, execution. And the cool thing is she's always on. She's always available. She never sleeps. She never goes on PTO. She's always there working around the clock for your company. Now, you can start using her today if you're not already. And we've released this Ava library, which is, as I said, a catalog of vertical AI use cases for your industry. And we've kind of split them up by persona. So depending on if you're a sales manager, a key account manager, if you're a field rep, even a retailer, each use case here has the description, the prompt name, the different input types, and of course, the key business value drivers that this Ava use case will be driving for you. Now, to all of our newer customers who probably haven't seen an Aforza release webinar yet, we've really continued our innovation year on year, 3 times a year without fail. And we've done it in a few different phases. So phase 1 was really omni-channel execution. And that's us focusing on offline mobile orders, audits, visits, key account management, making sure our omni-channel engines were perfect, kind of doing trade promotions and telesales. So executing on every channel. And then we really developed and enhanced our insights and optimization. So things like volume forecasting, console controls for the mobile applications on tablet and mobile phone, enhancing our analytics and AI suite with guided flows, B2B, e-commerce, and guided selling for all of your field teams, enhancing all of that together to really optimize Aforza. Phase 3, which is one of my favorites, was us developing all of our digital content execution, deepening our trust in AI with more reports and kind of admin oversights and overviews, improving the user experience, content workflows. So for example, a rep takes a picture of something. Maybe it's a back bar, or maybe it's in a retail space of a promotional gantry, and then actually triggering a workflow just from that photo, firing off to Microsoft Teams or Slack or WhatsApp or anything else. And that's really where we launched the Business Process Library and the Studio Marketplace. So that description that I just gave there of a rep taking a photo in that retail space or a back bar, that's part of the Studio Marketplace, where you can choose the latest and greatest technology in image recognition, in corporate messaging systems and tools like WhatsApp, like Teams, and plug it into any other system as part of a single photo being taken. Really, really powerful. And of course, as I mentioned at the beginning, Aforza guides, which are part of the Business Process Library, being executed every 3 seconds. We also launched another library at the beginning of this year with all of the latest and greatest business processes that we're seeing. So it means you can download them and actually deploy them globally for your teams, depending on where you're operating, getting things like best-in-class offline contract creation or best-in-class point-of-sale material compliance checks. So you can download those, get them into your environment, and start executing with Aforza guides already. Now, phase 4, the current one that we're in, is vertical AI. So really focused on enhancing absolutely every area of Aforza with Ava. And as part of this specific release, we've enhanced our promotion builder, so next generation promotion builder. We've got a new hub for post-event analysis. We've enhanced our P&L view for trade promotion management. Got things like dynamic disaggregation. Ava actually having the ability to call external applications and tools. So Ava can connect to data lakes, to third-party systems, and actually summarize and gather that information and surface it at the right time for your users, depending who they are, if they're in field sales, if they're a key account manager. Obviously, we've also launched the Ava use case library and further developed the Aforza SDK. So that's a brief overview of the Winter 26 release. Now for the really exciting part is the demonstrations with Nick. So I'm going to hand over to Nick. Are you there, Nick? Over to you.
Thank you, Callum. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone here today. Again, my name is Nick Heels. I lead our technology and product here at Aforza. I'm really excited to talk to you about our Winter 26 release. We've got a wealth of new enhancements that are going to bring a huge amount of value, and we're going to get into those in a little bit. But before I started, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who continues to use the product, continues to provide us feedback, and really helps us elevate the product and move it to the next level. So, Winter 26, there's a lot of new stuff here that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to give you a high-level overview of the 3 key pillars that we were focusing on in this release. So the first pillar is trade promotions. So TPM for Aforza is a huge product area. We've supported it from day one, and we continue to support it and enhance it for different use cases and different ways of accessing and managing your promotions. So in this latest release, you're going to see how we've introduced a new promotion builder, more focused on creating promotions from a financial analysis perspective. And along that same line, we've also introduced some pre-built components for profit and loss and post-event analysis. I'm going to show you how you can use all of these components with your TPM solution to better plan and better manage your promotions in a smart way. The second key pillar is retail execution. Obviously, a core part of our product. It's something we're very proud of, and we continue to enhance it with every release. So in this release, you're going to see we've introduced a lot of customer-specific requests. So we have a lot of requirements from customers in every release, and we've really just tried to push as many in as possible. So you're going to see things like the ability to brand the application. So provide your own color scheme and your own logos, which is really cool. You're going to see how you can now actually track all of your field teams, if you want to, at a very granular level. So you can use this for mileage, for compliance. It's a really cool feature that was requested. And then you're also going to see how we've got enhanced filtering. We've got Ava automatically loaded within the field application, which we're going to talk about. So there's a lot of really cool new things to talk through with Rex today. And then last, of course not least, is Ava, our new vertical AI assistant. Or I say new, she's been around for a while now, but it's a core part of our technology, and it's used across TPM, Rex, and all of our other solutions. So we've done some great enhancements here that we're going to talk about. Our prompt library, the ability to call other systems using Ava, the ability to access Ava absolutely everywhere, the agent designer, lots and lots of cool stuff. So we're going to talk about that as well. So before I dive into the demonstrations, I just wanted to quickly recap our new Field 25 synchronization strategy. So we talked about this in the last release. This is still ongoing. It's ready to go, but we just want more customers to be really using and testing it out before we flip the switch completely in a forthcoming release. So as a reminder, our old retail execution, our old sync architecture was using the Salesforce SDK. This was what would be called a black box. We didn't really have any control over it. It did what it did, and we couldn't really change it. and it had a certain speed that it would run at, and that, it was okay, but there's improvements that we knew we could make if we just had access to the underlying pieces that make up that SDK. But what we decided to do because of that is sometime in the last year is we decided to build our own sync architecture. So move away from using the Salesforce SDK and move to what we were calling Field 25. And that allowed us to build our own much faster, much more performant, much more flexible sync architecture, which essentially gave us much, much faster speeds, depending on how many files you're how many records you're accessing, how much files you're accessing and downloading. But we just saw this was the better approach from a technology perspective to bring value and speed and robustness to our customers. So that's what we did, and it really gave us a much, much faster experience across the board. So this was really great, and we've got lots and lots of customers actively using this now across our customer base, and we highly suggest and highly recommend that everyone starts moving on to the new application. It's likely that we will be pushing everyone in the next release. So again, I suggest you get your teams on it. There's no drawbacks, there's no downsides. It'll still work just as before. It'll just be faster and better. Right, let's move through to the demonstrations then. So I'm going to firstly talk about our TPM and key account management capabilities. As I mentioned, so that's including the new promotion builder, profit and loss, post-event analysis. We've also got disaggregation in there, which I forgot to mention. So lots to look at. So let's start by looking at that. Let's move into the demo. Okay, here we are logged into Aforza in the trade planning application, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. And we're looking at our promotion planning dashboard. And this is where traditionally you would see your calendar, where you can see all of the promotions running for a given time period. You can see the effectivity and the effectiveness of the promotion. You can look at the different types of promotions. You can filter and sort them. And you can click on a promotion to view the details of it. What products are being promoted, what SKUs or categories, the tactics being applied, and then the general performance of it as well. So this is great, but what you're going to see is on the left-hand side, we've also introduced some new sections. We now have a post-event analysis section and a profit and loss section. So if I click into one of these, I can now see in the post-event analysis a detailed breakdown of every single promotion we're running, the type of promotion, who we're targeting, the category, the brand, the product, the year, etc. All that data. And then importantly, you can see the actual performance of that promotion on this tabular view. So I can see the volume sold, the actual spend, the gross sales, the revenue, the net sales, contribution margin. And then as we come down into performance, we can start to see the variance, what we forecasted versus what we've actually achieved. And again, we can see that on volume or gross and net sales or contribution margin or ROI. And all of these can be color coded as you're seeing here. So we can immediately indicate, if something is underperforming or overperforming. We can filter and search, and we can sort by as well. So if we want to see the top performing, we can do that. We have tooltips on each of these so you can see exactly what that metric means in terms of Aforza. And at the bottom, we can see the total summary of each of the columns as well. Now this is really useful, but we can also, if we want to, add in our baseline and our forecast data as well. So we can actually change this table based on the information that's important to us. So perhaps I don't actually care about the overall performance, and I want to see my baseline in there as well, along with a forecast. I can add those in, and immediately you're going to see new columns have been added. So we can now see on each of these promotions, we've got the base, we've got the forecast, and we still have those actuals that we were looking at before. So really, really detailed financial analysis of the promotions. And really what's important here is to understand what's working and what's not working. Because once we see what is working, we can then just clone it or repeat it for the following year. As I said, we can filter and search. So perhaps I just want to see anything related to alcoholic beverages. I can do that. And now I'll have only the promotions running for alcoholic beverages. And perhaps I just want to see things we're targeting, a specific account or chain of accounts. Let me choose account in here. And there we go. Now we can see a very granular view of alcoholic beverage promotions performing at this specific account. And I can go through and I can just choose to see what I want. I can start color coding stuff if I need to as well. So very, very important, useful information I can use to make financial decisions going forward. But along with the post-event analysis, which is primarily about looking at promotions, we also have our full profit and loss as well. And the profit and loss gives you we would call this a vertical breakdown of how your promotions and the planned volumes are performing as well. So we can see actually in this view, instead of it being a horizontal breakdown, we've got this vertical breakdown. So we're now looking at it by period. So we're looking at month 1, month 2, month 3, so on and so forth. And then for each of those months, what are our total volumes in terms of base, incrementals, and total? What is our gross sales? Again, base versus incremental. Tactics. So what are we actually selling, or what are we discounting from a variable perspective? So what are we discounting on the SKU level? And also a fixed perspective. So do we have any kind of fixed tactics that we're deploying against our promotions? So it might be, a marketing budget. We're spending $1,000 here to provide leaflets, etc., or brochures. We then have our net sales, our cost of goods, and our contribution margin. And again, on the right-hand side, we have the full totals breakdown for that. Now, just like before, we can start filtering by individual accounts, products, or promotions. We can also look at individual years. So if you want to look at historical performance or forecast performance for the future, you can do. And then, of course, we can break it down into different periods as well. So I can also look at weekly. So you get that full granular kind of weekly view of the metrics as well. And that's really, really useful. So we've got these two new components here that give you that really granular view of your data and help you make your smarter decisions. And you can see them here in the promotion planning sidebar. But you can also embed these directly to promotion pages or account pages, anywhere you really want to see that information. So if I go to one of my accounts, so I'm looking at the Fresh Start Shop Southeast, this is my standard account page where I've got my outlet assets, my promotion sales, my upsell opportunities, etc. But I can also add in a performance tab where I could put in my profit and loss, my post-event analysis, and immediately I get that same data, but it's now filtered for this specific account or promotion that I'm looking at. So this data is all real time. It flows seamlessly across the system as you're doing work in it. So as promotions are being made, as we're getting actual data back into the system, this data is automatically updated. So you're getting a real-time analysis of your forecast versus your actuals for all of your promotions and all of your volume forecasting. Right, let's go back to our promotion planning. So that was how we kind of do the metrics now, which is really important. We, of course, have our full analytics suite you can still use, but the new components here are very good for a real-time quick view of things. But I want to talk about our promotion builder now. So if I go to one of our promotions, let's look at this VIP King soft drinks promotion, and we open it up. We come to our promotion builder, which is traditionally how we would create promotions in Aforza. So as a reminder, you have your header at the top here with some high-level information. You've got the designer view where you can drag and drop your different groups. You've got your buy 4 soft drinks, you choose one for free. And you can see your bases and your uplifts, etc. And then you can have your other tabs like your studio and your details tab. But what we've done now is we've introduced a more financial orientated way of building promotions. And there's various different ways you could use that. You could just use it for all of your promotions. You could use it for some of the promotions. I've set it up for this demo to always be used for account promotions. So right now we're looking at a segment promotion. So we're targeting a big group of our customers, which I think makes sense when you're kind of building this drag and drop type promotion, a fast moving and agile one. But I'm going to go in, I'm going to now change this to be an account promotion. So we're going to target a specific account or hierarchy of accounts. And when I do that, we come to the new view. So this is the promotion builder. And on the promotion builder, you have a wildly different way of building your promotions. So at the top, you still have promotion details, but you have a much more granular view that focuses on your effectivity dates, your in-store dates, and your shipment dates, which you can have multiple of. We can see the account that I'm targeting. We can also choose the target type, whether this is a sell in or sell out promotion, which is really important when you're doing these ones as well. And as we scroll down, we come to the builder, and the builder is now where you start to allocate your volumes for your promotion product groups, your promotion products, and you allocate your tactics. So it's a much more tabular based view. Those familiar with doing promotions in Excel will be immediately comfortable with this view, but it gives you a much better view of how a promotion is going to perform and what tactics are applicable to it as you go. So I can easily add more products to individual groups. So let's add in just one of these products here as an example. That then gets added into the promotion product group, number one. I can see the bases and predicteds, etc. And then I can also add in additional tactics. So perhaps I want to add a tactic to that product I just added. So I can add to my promotion product. I'm going to select the Duke Premium. You can select a spend type. So is this an off invoice or a bill back? Now, typically, if you're doing these kind of financial plannings, they're probably going to be bill backs, but you could do off invoice planning from here as well. You can select a spend condition as well. So is this a percentage per unit? Is a dollar or pound per unit? Can you set the price? Is it a fixed tactic? We're just going to do a percentage one. You can select as an automatic or volume-based discount or tactic. And then I'm going to choose a volume-based one here. I can set a threshold where this volume one comes into effect. The spend reason. So this is really for your kind of your analytics or your reporting. Why are we allowing this tactic? And then you set a value, as well. So I'm going to set 20%. And then this can be applied to your base or just your incremental or the total. So this all comes back to how you start doing your financial reporting and how you're doing your forecasting and your actuals. Do you want this new tactic to only apply to everything that you sell net new above those baselines, or should it be everything total? And then, of course, you can set this to be accruable as well. So, as I'm doing that, I can also click on this impact tab, and this is going to let me see exactly how that promotion will perform based on the tactics I'm applying, based on the bases, the uplifts, etc. And you can see right now, doesn't look like it's going to do too well because I've added that new product in. Let me go and remove that product. And go back to my impact. And I can see now that I've removed that new product that I added there to test out. We're going to get a really good ROI based on that promotion that we're running and the discounts we're applying. So as I tweak and tune it, this impact will change in real time, and I can see everything from my volumes to my spend and my sales, my profit in real time as I'm changing that promotion. So it's a much more financial way of tweaking and tuning and making sure you're building the best promotions possible. Also on the builder, I can start filtering and searching. So if I only want to look at specific products or SKUs, if I only want to look at specific tactics we're applying, I know your promotions can get very large, so this helps you keep an eye on just the things you need to when you're managing that promotion. And then last but not least, because you typically are planning these promotions at an account group level or at a product category level, we've also introduced the ability to do your account or your product disaggregation directly from this builder. So I am planning a promotion for Fresh Start Shop Group. So this is the kind of the group account. Now I'm happy with this promotion. I've got good ROI on the impact analysis. I want to have this now filtered down to all of the individual retailers. So I'm going to go click on the account hierarchy disaggregation, and it tells me the promotion I'm disaggregating. It tells me the parent group account. Here are all the product volumes that I'm going to disaggregate down across my accounts. And then I can select the applicable child accounts. So I'm going to go ahead and select a bunch of these. And now I can choose how I want to split that. So we can evenly split it. We could do a top down, a manual volume. So I'm going to do a manual percentage. And now it's going to tell me, how do we want to allocate these across the two tiers? So I'm going to say, actually, I only want the top tier to get 30%. The bottom tier, where I know we're going to move the bulk of it, is going to be 70%. And when I'm happy, I can then disaggregate this. And that is now taking that promotion and splitting it down between all the different accounts and creating the subsequent child promotions for us to run. So if I go back to my promotion planning and I look at my calendar that I was looking at before and I refresh it, we're now going to see all of the individual promotions we have just created disaggregated down from the parent for the individual accounts. And each of these is going to have the correct SKUs, the right tactics, and if we open it up, we're going to see the volumes have been split evenly across all of those different accounts. They've been split based on the percentages that I've set in. So I've easily gone from trade planning a promotion in a really financial way through to then splitting that promotion down as a key account manager into the individual child accounts that we're going to be directly targeting with these promotions. And then from that, if I go to my promotion planning and I go to my post-event analysis, I can now actually search for all of those VIP promotions that I just created. I can see them all here, and I can start actually looking at the performance of those promotions against the account they're targeting, whether it's the group account or the child accounts from the disaggregation, and I'll start to be able to do my analysis here as the actual start rolling into the system. So it's a nice closed loop of planning, promoting, and then analyzing as the data comes in. Right, let's go back to the slides and take a look at demonstration 2. Okay, so demo 2. This one is all about unlocking speed for your field teams. So I'm going to show you kind of a bunch of new stuff. We're not really going to go through a predefined demo here. I'm just going to show you the new features as they appear in the application and talk to you about how they're valuable and how they're going to make your field teams more effective and faster. So we're going to look at compliance through geotracking. We're going to look at the sync speed, the branding, smart actions, data filtering, etc. So let's just get straight into the demonstration. So here we are on my mobile device, and you can see all of the Aforza applications here, Studio, Ava, and Field 25. And they've all been updated to work with the latest version of iOS, the latest version of Android, and use all of the newer features. For instance, on Studio and Ava, you can now log in using Face ID or Touch ID. So we're using all of the new technology and all of the latest technology that Apple and Android make available to us for your teams. But let's talk about Field 25 then. So if I click into that, it's going to open up. And the first thing you're going to notice is there's a lot of purple. And that's because we now support custom branding. So if you have some colors or some strong brand colors that you want to have within your application for your field teams, you can now do that. So whether that's purples, yellows, reds, whatever it might be, you can now set your primary, secondary, and tertiary colors for your application. Along with the colors, you can also set your own custom logos and icons. So when you are syncing for the first time, you get a nice logo appearing, and then when you look at your side menu, you can have a different logo or icon. In this case, we've got a fake company called Royal Manufacturing, and we've put a logo in there for them. So again, it's just a way to personalize your application and improve your adoption by making users use a branded app and feel connected with your brand. So what else have we done? So as I log in, I get my same homepage that you're kind of familiar with. I can see these auto Ava widgets, and we'll talk a bit more about those in a minute. But these are ways to inject intelligence and recommendations to your field teams directly in the app. So here, this one is giving me what we're calling a daily digest. So it's telling me how many visits I've got. It's telling me which is my first one, how I should prep for it, etc. And you'll see some more examples of how Ava can help further on in the demonstration. As I scroll down, I see my route. I see some visit information. And then another new thing we've added is the ability to go straight to your calendar from the home screen. So you can now click go to calendar, and you can put this anywhere you want on your home screen to immediately go to your calendar view. So if you prefer working from a calendar, working from your daily view or your monthly view, you can do that really easily now directly from the home screen, which is cool. So let me go to, one other thing I want to show you before I go to the visit. So in my side menu now, if you enable it for your teams, you'll notice down the bottom there's a start tracking button. And this is now giving you the ability to track your location and capture it so that when you are traveling in your car or your van and you're visiting customers, it will always know where you are and it'll capture that. So you can use that for mileage reporting, for your users' compliance to make sure there's no fraud. And you can simply turn it on by clicking Start Tracking. And what you'll see now is, if I go back to the side menu, you'll see a little blue icon on there telling me that I've currently got that on. And what you'll see every now and again, I'm not sure if they'll show you now, but underneath the sync icon in the bottom middle there, you'll see a little icon that appears. And that will indicate whether it's captured the location and whether it's actively syncing that location back up to the server. So it's automatically going to capture all this information about where you are, your altitude, your direction, your speed, and sync that back into Salesforce so that you can start reporting on that and use that for compliance purposes. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to turn that off now. So let's go into a visit. And on the visit screen, the main thing I want to mention is this auto AVA. So before, if you were to open a visit and had some AVA intelligence, you would have to wait for it to actually ask AVA and get the results. But now, as soon as I logged into the visit, you can see that Ava's immediately given me intelligence. That's because whenever you actually start your day, she's automatically providing intelligence immediately. So when you come onto your visit, it's going to be ready for you. So in this case, she's telling me the 3 things I should focus on when I'm going to this visit and what I should do. So when I have 20 things to do, knowing the top 3 things that are going to make a difference are super important. And that's what a bunch of our customers are currently doing to improve their productivity and speed and effectiveness. You can also open Ava if you want to see more details about that notification. And from here, I can then continue the conversation, maybe asking for more detail about the promotion compliance or asking for, the best strategy for discussing an open claim. But the other thing we've added is now the Ava prompt library, so that directly from within field, I can click on this top right icon and I have my full prompt library available to me. So I can click on any of these. For instance, if I want to get more information about our Duke brand, and it will start the conversation for me. So within a matter of seconds, using that prompt, it's now told me exactly what I wanted to know about the specific products in the catalog, and it's given me some recommendations and some additional branded merchandise, along with providing me with a brochure for the brand as well. The other things that we've added to the application that I can't really show you, but I'll talk to. You have more capabilities now around your data filtering to make sure that you're only taking the data you really need offline. And you also have more capabilities around smart actions in orders. So whenever I hit the order cart, I can now automatically run smart actions, which is going to give me much finer control over my pricing strategy when I get onto that cart page. So a lot of really great enhancements. And this piece of our release in particular has been really affected by our customer requirements that we're getting, our customer enhancement requests. So keep on providing those. Thank you so much. And I think in next release, you'll see a lot more specific tweaks and tuning on the mobile app from those requests again. So thank you. All right, let's move on to the last demonstration where I'm going to take you through some of the Ava capabilities. We've seen how Ava can be presented within Field, but now let's look at how we actually configure it and what sort of options we have. Okay, so our last demonstration today is going to be Ava. So in this release, we've added a ton of new features or new functionality, really helping Ava to boost commercial impact for all of your users. So this is including things called a prompt builder and library. It's about letting Ava call to other systems. It's about giving you more control over your agents and what they can do. And then we have the Ava use case library as well, which is a great book for kind of getting out of the box use cases from Ava. And I think Callum will talk to that a little bit as well. Right, so let me go into Ava and show you the demonstration. Right, so here we are in the Ava web application. Now, as you've seen, Ava is available in Salesforce and Aforza. It's available in our Field app. It's available in Studio. So Ava is everywhere. You can also use the standalone experience, just have a chat with Ava if you don't need to do another particular task. What does that mean? It means Ava is context aware. She knows if you're doing a visit. She knows if you're placing an order. She knows if you're scheduling a promotion. So having that context and understanding it when you're talking to her is very, very powerful. But let's talk about some of the new things we've added. So the first thing you'll notice is we've got this prompts capability. So we've noticed, and we've had feedback that we don't, the users don't want to type their questions. A lot of the time they just want to click a button, get the insights or do an action and move on. So that's what the prompt library gives you. The prompt library gives you the ability to quickly select an item that you want to understand and execute it. So for example, I can click on top promotions by revenue, and this is going to go away. It's going to find the promotion agent, and it's going to find those promotions and order them by revenue. And as she finds the promotions, they start to stream in, and you can see the details, and you can even click through to get those promotions as well. So Ava has the ability to access all of that CRM data that you have, whether it's your visits, your promotions, your orders, anything you need. But let's talk about now how we set Ava up. So if I go to settings, this is where Ava is actually configured behind the scenes. So she is completely out of the box. You have a bunch of pre-built agents which let you handle your promotions, your orders, your visits, your accounts. But you can also tweak and tune them, and you can create your own agents if you want to as well. So the first thing you can do is build out your prompts. So just like you saw before, the prompt library really is the killer feature that lets your sales teams get really productive, because all they have to do is click a button and they can automatically get intelligence from AI pushed straight to them. So you can easily set your prompt library. And as I mentioned, we have a library book where it has hundreds of different use cases that you can actually deploy using Ava straight away. So you don't have to think about what these might be. We can actually tell you what the best use cases are for a certain scenario or situation. And as you're creating them, you can set things like the icon, the color scheme. So if you need it branded with your branding again, you can do that. And it makes them really visually appealing and easy to understand for your users. The other thing that we have the ability to do is connect Ava to other applications. So you might want to get data not just from Aforza, but from other systems that you have, whether that is ServiceNow or it's SAP, or you might want to send a message to Teams or Slack. You can do that. Connecting to the other systems is super easy. There's no coding involved. It's all done through a point and click menu. So it's very, very quick and simple to connect to any other system that you want within your ecosystem. And once you've added these applications here, that's when you can then create your tools and your agents. So your tool is something like, I want to get weather from the weather service, or I want to do a Google search, or I want to use a mapping app to get a optimized route. All of these things can then be done again through point and click, and your agents then have access to them. That means that as you're building out your custom agents, you can do things like check the weather, you can get product recommendations, you can do optimized routing, you can analyze a pint to see if it's perfect based on your criteria. There's a huge amount of things that you can do using these custom tools. And as I said, this might look a bit complicated, but it's actually very easy. It's all point and click, and we have a book full of these capabilities where you can just kind of pick and choose what you want to go live with. And we have customers already doing it and getting a lot of value from the new generative AI capabilities that they can take advantage of. So a huge amount of innovation going in here behind the scenes. So let's take a look at some examples of what this actually means. Well, we could do things like a bar seller audit, where it's prompting us to upload the photo or one that we're taking in the field. And then Ava can automatically look at that photo and give us insights based on knowledge from other systems. So she's taken a look at that photo, and she's done something called scenario interpretation. And she's done things like, or she said things like, there's no visible cooling equipment, the kegs are present, some of the kegs have labels, but the visibility is limited, flooring looks okay, general storage seems cluttered, and then giving us some actions about, perhaps we should rearrange the kegs, they all need to be clearly labeled, we need to do more regular checks for cleanliness, assess the need for additional cooling equipment. So that information has actually come from the ServiceNow system, where all of that technical knowledge is stored. But it could come from any other system that you want. So to recap, With Ava this time, we've added a lot more technical innovation behind the scenes. She's now available everywhere, whether that's Field or Salesforce or Studio. She has the ability to be triggered from prompts. You can have her call additional systems using different tools, and you can even build out your own custom agents using the new Agent Designer if you want to. And of course, we have our pre-built agents for promotions, accounts, and orders all ready to go, providing you instant on value. And we've got the use cases to prove it. So with that, just as a final recap, in this release, you saw TPM taking to the next level with our new promotion builder, post-event analysis, profit and loss, disaggregation, lots of really, really compelling financial focused features for TPM. You've seen how we've continued to improve the retail execution application with compliance capabilities, with faster syncing, the ability to brand the application, more smart actions for your orders and data filtering. And then with Ava, we've just added another level of technical innovation there with the new tools and capabilities available behind the scenes to help drive the efficiency of your teams, whether they're in the field or they are planning on the TPM space. So again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for looking at these features. Now, this isn't everything. This is just a high-level overview. I highly recommend you read the release notes, which we can provide. And with that, I guess I'll just hand it back to Callum for the final few slides. Thank you.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you, Nick. I'm blown away every time by everything that the team are building and developing as part of each release. So as Nick mentioned, we do these 3 times a year. This was the winter release. The next one is the spring release, and we'll be sending out invites shortly. But if there's anything that you saw today or that you'd like to see in a similar vein, you can head to the Aforza Demo Center, where we've got a whole host of different demonstrations, either click-through tours or videos, and they're all done by persona, solution area, and actually demo type. So you can head there with the QR code or check out that link. And of course, if you want a one-to-one demo, just get in touch with your customer success manager. We'd be happy to do that for you. Now, if you want to enhance your own knowledge or anyone in your organization's knowledge on Aforza and really kind of empower people in your team, then we have training courses that are available where you can focus on things like retail execution, trade promotion management, insights and analytics, Ava, Aforza Studio. You can sign up here now and see when our latest and next training schedule is, so that you can enhance your skills on Aforza. Now, finally, as promised, here is the link to the Ava library. So it's got every commercial persona covered. These are proven industry use cases that drive real business impact, and it's instant on with zero to little setup required for you as an Aforza customer. So you can head to that link there or scan the QR code. Now, I've seen there's quite a few questions that have come in through the chat as Nick's been demoing, as I've been presenting. Please do keep them coming in as we answer. We'll do our best to get through all of them. Or any extra that we don't see, we'll follow up with. But Nick, I'm going to ask you to come and give me a hand answering some of these more technical questions. Are you there, Nick?